"We always have now," said Tom pleadingly. "No one knows what tomorrow will bring. We have to live for the moment, this sweet moment, me and you." Julie felt Tom's words in her heart, but she wanted more than just now. She dreamed of things to come. A cottage in the Irish countryside, maybe a couple of kids eventually. But she was in no rush on that front. Just as well, really, as she'd only just turned 14. Tom wasn't thinking in terms of kids. He always suspected he would make for a poor father, like his old man, who was absent most of the time. When he wasn't, Tom wished he was. This relationship wasn't just a fling for either of them. This was the real deal, true love, no puppy stuff. They'd only met 3 weeks ago, but when you know, they clicked. For Tom, this was a huge risk. A grown man, 21 years Julie's senior. Normally a cautious character and a cool customer. What was he thinking? He felt possessed, excited. He wasn't sleeping much. At work, his mind wandered and kept coming back to her. Her image burnt into his brain, her voice, her scent, the way she moved, the power of her stare. The cold reality was that he was risking his career, his reputation, his very freedom for the love of a child. They had met outside a corner shop. "Please can you buy me some fags, mister?" Julie had softly pleaded. He had tried to lecture her on the evils of tobacco, but he relented. Her smile and her charm won the day. He had struck up a conversation with her after the purchase. It wasn't awkward at all. They bounced questions and compliments around. He asked for her number. She gave it to him without hesitation. As Tom walked away, he looked at his watch and realized, to his great surprise, they had been chatting for almost an hour. It felt more like 10 minutes. Tom didn't have many friends and really wasn't the most sociable bloke in the world. He had little experience with women and girls. He was more than a bit scared of the opposite sex. But with Julie, there was no fear, save for the fear of being caught. He called her the very next day, and they arranged to meet at his flat. He had to make sure that the old lady downstairs was out before sending Julie a text to let her know it was all clear. To be alone with her was heaven. The energy, the anticipation, and the release. Not just the sexual release, emotional too. If one could have been a fly on the wall, living in Tom's flat for the past few weeks, they would have seen a grown man reduced to a boy again. Seduced by the feminine power of a girl, they would have seen a girl becoming a woman, becoming more and more aware of her power. Julie called the shots. She pushed the buttons, not by accident. He was the first to declare his love, his devotion. Not that the words came as a surprise to Julie. She knew. He would worship her as his queen. He would walk on hot coals if she asked him to. Yes. Oh yes. He had been infantilized. To him, this was the best thing that had ever happened. He was alive as he moved amongst the walking dead at work and in the streets. He had discovered a profound truth. Freedom wasn't all it was cracked up to be. To hell with freedom, and to hell with respectability for that matter. To be the love slave of a teenage girl is where true happiness, true fulfillment is to be found. Completely aware of the illegality of his actions, he felt no shame. Love is what it is. "I want a fresh start, Tom," Julie said. "There's nothing for us here, I'm suffocating. And I want to get out and see the world. It would be nice to see something else, you know?" In Julie, Tom saw a dreamer, not uncommon in a child, of course. What she wanted was adventure, and she wanted to share that adventure with Tom. She felt he needed to escape too. Escape was the right word. Yes, he was suffocating as I am, Julie thought. But they both had roots here in this old Midlands town, this long-time dead mining community. Tom was distant with his aging father, but close to his mum, who he had come to feel sorry for in his adult life. She was a timid woman with no close friends, and she had long since stopped caring for Tom's father, who essentially lived in the local boozer, frittering away his redundancy. Tom's sister had moved abroad many years ago, but his older brother still lived in town, doing the same monotonous job for 2 decades now. He had become a bore, predictable. Was I going the same way? Thought Tom.